Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Kathy.
Join us as we follow the moon. Today, we're going to take you to one of 2,000 trails parks located in the great state of Tennessee. This one is Cherokee Landing, which is in Salisbury, Tennessee, over on the Memphis side of the state. In the next several weeks, we'll also be bringing you to Natchez Trace, which is more up towards Nashville. But first to Cherokee Landing. This was one of the nicest, most peaceful, restful areas I think we've ever been to. There's some beautiful nature in this park, and we want to show you that beautiful nature. We also want to show you a few things that you need to be aware of when you come into this park. Now here we are on 57 going west towards Salisbury, Tennessee, and we just took a left onto Old State Line Road. Like a lot of these Thousand Trails parks, Old State Line Road goes straight into the park. Now here's the park map, and it's going to show you phase 1 on the right, phase 2 on the left, with a big lake area in the middle. We'll take you a tour of both phases of the park. Now, even though the road is a little bit more narrow and it does have its twist, the trees are up high, the power lines are up high, no issues that way with getting in. The entrance to the park, the gate is normally unmanned, but it does have a box there on the side. You enter your code and in you go. Immediately as you enter the park, on the right hand side is a large paved lot that's for RV storage, and it also makes a good place if you need to go in, turn around, hook up your tote or unhook your tote. Now as you're coming into the park, try to keep on the main roads. Our RV GPS, after we stopped at a Love station to fuel up, decided it wanted to take us up a couple of county roads. Do avoid County Road 101 and Antioch Road if you're told that those are the roads you need to take. This building is the office. They had a tree come down on it a couple of months ago and actually took out the roof right over the manager's office. But they're still in there working. Now, if you do go on to the website at Thousand Trails, you are going to see some pictures of the park, and those pictures tend to be, I believe, from a few years back. Coming up on the right is the tennis court. This is the picture you'd see of it on its website. This is what you see today. Now we're going to come in just a short ways, and there's going to be a loop of 15 cabins. And the loop of cabins all back up to Lake Cherokee, which is the lake in the middle of the park. Now it is a no swimming lake, but the scenes are just beautiful, and there's a huge bridge that walks across the lake between the cabin area here and the Tomahawk Lodge. You can see the bridge there in the distance.
That's one of my favorite views right there. And those cabins were cute.
Now we'll bring this back out to the main road as it enters phase 1. We'll make a left here and go back into the main part of phase 1. Now most of the sites in this park are water and electric only. Most of them are 30 amp. There are a few 50 amps scattered in between, and they normally have yellow markings on the electrical box, so they're a little bit easier to spot. There is a small area of full hookup sites that we'll see coming up here on our right in a moment. And there is another area on the other side of the park that are full hookup. But for the most part, there are no sewer sites.
When you come to this park, you'll definitely be getting the camping as opposed to the glamping experience.
Definitely. Now these over on the right are the full hookup sites. Most of those, I believe, are longer term campers. I won't call them annuals because it is a seasonal park. Now this is one of 2 comfort centers, and this is the only laundry in the park. Although we didn't have to use it, this was a disappointment. 2 washing machines, first one's out of order, the second one's not even hooked up to water, and it's out of order. So there was no way to wash laundry in this park at this time. It did have 2 dryers. They did work off of quarters. This is the bathhouse that's attached to it, and it's older. You can see some of the paint coming off the floors.
There were spiders.
Yeah, there were spiders in them.
Most of them were those granddaddy longlegs, though.
Yeah, they didn't look like they were mean spiders. But around the back side of both of the comfort centers are dump stations. Those are the 2 dump stations in the park. This one was a nice wide turnaround. The one over in the side of the park where we were in phase 2 was a little bit tighter, but Kathy got to drive, and
That's right.
she got it
I
in
made
that
it
dump
through there.
station, no problem.
The grounds are just beautiful here.
All of the usable campsites, and we'll talk more about that in a moment, and all of the common grounds are beautifully mowed. Everything's very well maintained as far as the property is concerned.
This to me was one of the prettiest that I've been to, and I love the trees, the nature.
Here again, you're looking out over the water. There's campsites along the water there. And the thing that got us, it was so quiet.
Oh yeah.
It was so still, so quiet. It was one of the most restful and relaxing places that we've been.
And we kind of needed that.
Yeah, we did.
Now your roads do kind of go up and down because it is Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the hills are part of the countryside. Most of them are gravel. Some are partially blacktopped, but none of them are bad. We were not driving through it quite as fast as it shows we were here. Things are just sped up here a bit for time's sake.
Oh, you're a speed demon. What are you talking about?
Now we're going back over the route and back up towards the cabins, so we're going through this area a little bit more quickly. And in just a moment, we'll come up here by the office.
Now this place up here across from the office is very wooded. You're kind of on a ridge at the top of a ravine, so on both sides it drops down in. And this is where we saw the deer the most.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of wildlife, and it was so quiet and peaceful and relaxing. We found ourselves when we were walking to not have our phones with us or have our cameras with us. And so we didn't get a lot of pictures of the wildlife, but there were deer that were very timid. You can tell they weren't being fed, that they were very skittish, very timid. There were holes in the ground constantly you'd see because of armadillos coming through looking for insects.
I think we had a visit from a coyote one night.
Yeah, we
I
saw
think
paw
we
prints.
saw bear prints at one point too.
There were some awful big paw prints in there we kind of think were bear. Now this is the Tomahawk Lodge. And again, this is how you see it when you go to Thousand Trails website. this is how you see it today. It needs a good coat of paint. The interior, we were told by several people there at the park, is beautiful, but unfortunately, because of local zoning issues with COVID, it was closed.
And there's the other side of that bridge. We were actually here at a perfect time of year for the weather.
Yeah, it was in the low to mid 70s every day, getting into the upper 50s to low 60s at night. It was great. Now we just turned off to the right and we're going around a loop that'll take us over by the Comfort Center in Phase 2. On the far left of us, there is a small loop, and that loop has 15 full hookup sites. We did see people coming and going out of there. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that those were all annual, so depending upon if you're midweek, you might have a good shot at getting in there in a sewer site. They are a little smaller, a little tighter. I don't think I would have put our rig in there. Now the sign we just passed there said tents only. There was a Class C parked back here. This spot we're going into here on the end, to me, is probably one of the most choice spots in the whole park.
Yes.
Because that's what you see out your campsite. It's beautiful.
Now there was something about the electricity there.
Yes. There is a reason that this is marked tent only. It's not because of the size of the sites or anything, but it's because of the electric. And as we go back out the road, you'll see the back side of that sign that we saw that said tents only. On the back of the sign here on the right, you can read where it says low voltage. Again, I wouldn't plug my rig into low voltage, but it's a beautiful area back there. And the park doesn't want you to plug into that either. Again, that's an issue that Thousand Trails needs to put some money into the electrical system in this park and bring it up to par. A lot of these sites on the left really were not usable sites. I was told that there's electrical issues in some of those sites also. Mm-hmm. Now this is the Comfort Center for Phase 2. We're actually driving back through the dump station area. And the trash dumpsters for this side are back here also. The trees, there are a lot of mature trees. We never drug a limb in the park. They are trimmed up and kept up, and you can tell that the things that are within the capability of their 4 employees in this park, they take care of.
Now I believe this park probably dates back to the 70s at least.
Mm-hmm. And Thousand Trails purchased it in the 80s, from what I understand.
There goes an armadillo.
Maggie thought that was really interesting. Now, when we were here just after Labor Day, and the park does close down the pool as it's in a colder climate after the Labor Day weekend. So I've got a picture of the pool coming up here to show you. The pool has been drained at this point, and they were actually working on that while we were there.
There was another girl who was just leaving right after we got there who said she had swam in it and then came back 2 days later to swim again, and that's when they were emptying it.
Now this building is called the Superhost building, and this is the only common area building on property that's open. And they were allowed to open this so that tent campers would have a place to go in case there was a storm, but because of COVID, everything else has had to remain closed. It's got a large common area, beautiful fireplace there in the end of it. It does have a kitchen facility that wasn't being used at the time we were there. Pool tables, ping pong, basketball. There are bathrooms in here, but no bathhouse.
And everything in here was real clean.
Yes, you can tell this has been very well maintained. And at the very back of the property, again, one of the pictures you see on the website is their fire ring and the playground in the background. Unfortunately, that's what the fire ring looks like today.
The playground was very reminiscent of when I was a young child.
Yeah.
It was fun to just walk through. I could really feel the history walking around that playground.
Now, this is the entrance to the pool. Everybody goes in either to the right door for the men's or the left door for the ladies, go through the locker areas and then into the pool, so it's kept secure for any children or anybody who shouldn't be getting into the pool. Now, also up here on the right, there's an area with a volleyball court, again as pictured, and miniature golf, again as pictured, and then there's also a half-court basketball. And unfortunately, that's what it looked like while we were there. For the amount of money that we all pay for our 1,000 trails, it would sure be nice to see this park get a little bit more of their share so that they could take care of upgrading these things, because the things that are within their control, they did a beautiful job with.
I will say, I love to hike, and the word trails and 1,000 trails really made me want to be out hiking, and you can definitely hike in this one.
Now, something I want to show you here with our site, we had a yellow box for 50 amp. There's one breaker in that box, and it's also been wired in underground to the next box over. So we had to throw both breakers in order to have 50 amp. So there it is. You've gotten to see the beauty of the park, the water, the trees, nature, and you've gotten to see a few of the things that to me were a little bit disappointing in how the park was represented. We would love to see 1,000 Trails do this park justice. It is a seasonal park. It's only open from April 1st until the 25th of October. And I don't know if being seasonal, that's one of the reasons that they don't quite put the funding, it looks like, into this park as they do into some of their other ones. But if you want to get away, you want peace, quiet, be surrounded in nature, I think it was one of the nicest ones we've ever been to.
Yes, it was.
So with that, we want to thank you for watching today. If you liked what you saw, be sure and leave us a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so. And most importantly, be sure to ring that notification bell. We do surprise you every now and then with extra videos that come out on Monday morning in addition to our Friday morning videos. And that's how you'll know when those come out.
That's right. And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when we have new videos listed. Also, be sure to check out our blog at followthemoon.us and also our Facebook page at Follow the Moon and on Instagram at Follow the Moon Travel. Thanks.